conscious involvement. Yep. Okay. Yep. Well, the Buddhist monks might be under the illusion that what's going on in their conscious mind is causing everything else to happen. But in this picture, what is happening is that all the decisions are being made at the brain level, the level of the unconscious brain. These come first. After the brain has made that decision, the Buddhist monk will get a readout of it. Hey, I think I'll go in for sustained meditation here, or sustained contemplation here. That came after the brain decision. Yeah? It wasn't the cause of what happened next. Yeah? Similarly in general. And you can't be held to blame. And you can't be given praise for stuff that happened unconsciously, out of the control of your intentions. Yeah? Yeah. Well, because your brain is different to somebody else's. A way to manipulate self-firings. Well, not in this picture anyway. Right. Well, if you take a sea slug or a cockroach or something like that, yeah, the way you can, things which I imagine are not conscious. Even if cockroaches are conscious, something you don't really want to know about it. You don't really want to know what it would be like in that. So suppose they're not conscious, you can still condition cockroaches in different ways. Yeah. So the two cockroaches would behave quite differently in response to the same stimulus. So the human brain is vastly more complex. Yeah. So it can be conditioned, learn in many different ways, in ways that have nothing to do with consciousness. Because yeah, but I don't know if there's anything very illuminating to be said at this level of generality, but yeah, we're exposed to different environmental factors. We have different learning situations, and we have different genetics in back of it. Yeah. So that will all be true outside of consciousness. Yep. 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 Yes. So, well, you'll just be exposed to different environmental stimuli. I mean, one of you puts a hand in the fire, the others don't. You'll react differently to fires afterwards, and not necessarily because of any difference in your conscious lives. Yeah. Well, that's it. But if you take the knee jerk, yeah, one person's been exposed to millions of bashes in the knee and is completely desensitized to it, doesn't have the reflex anymore. Another hasn't. You can get lots of individual variation. There's not at the level of conscious intention. Yeah. Yeah. What happens? What are the exact? Sorry. Yeah. I think that's pretty good. I'm not sure I got all that, but just the first way you put it, if the readiness potential happened at exactly the same time as the conscious intention, yeah, then that wouldn't be a problem. You would just say that readiness potential, that is the conscious intention. Yeah? That was your first point? Yeah. That's right. That's what's so startling about these results from 2008, is that what that seems to make so clear is that the unconscious brain activity, move to the right or move to the left, has been in train 10 seconds before the awareness of a conscious decision. And I guess the argument there is there might be some lag between the conscious intention and your report of it. But that was the point of giving people these mild electric shocks and seeing how long it takes them to report the thing happening. But you got a 50 millisecond delay. But that's a tiny delay compared to this kind of time lag. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, what school to go to, that kind of thing. Or what job should I apply for? Yeah. Yeah, it's much harder to study these experimentally. Yeah, but in a way you might think that's actually more likely. People say, well, why did I decide to go to Cal rather than Harvard? Well, I didn't really have a conscious reason for doing that. Just in my heart, you say, I knew it was the right thing. You see what I mean? But you don't really mean in your heart. I mean, what's your heart got to do with it? I mean, I mean really. It was your brain. It's another way of saying my brain made me do it. My brain chose Cal. Right? Not from conscious reasoning. In your brain, yeah, your brain made it for you, pre-consciously. Yeah, that's what people say. Don't overthink it. Go with the flow. That means you just do what your brain's telling you. Don't kick up a lot of fuss. So the two things are, one is that these complex decisions are harder to study. You know, that's why we bet in this colleagues are starting out with these simple push-a-button kind of things. But a priori, just thinking about it, it's not obvious that these complex decisions would be more likely to be consciously influenced than the simple thing of decide whether you want to push it to the right or the left. Yeah. So you, yeah. Crime, yes, yes. Absolutely, yeah, yeah. That's right. About 30 years ago, I had a conversation with a policeman that, I mean, this was someone I was talking to casually, he wasn't arresting me or something, but he was saying to me, what are you doing? I was telling him, I said, what do you think about sociology? He said, not much of a subject, that is it. And as we talked, it became clear that the reason he detested this was that it seemed to him like whenever he got someone in court, some authority would pop up saying, well, it was his brain, or it was his background, or it was genetic, that made him do it. He said, my attitude is, you did that, you're nicked. but what I mean is this trend to say it wasn't the conscious life that caused it. That's been going on for a long time now. That is a big trend, and this really just crystallizes it and says that's the general case. Yeah, we're not going to be able to hold people to account for their actions in the way that we commonsensically think. That's why this stuff is so revolutionary. It seems so technical when you're thinking about hundreds of milliseconds and so on, but it is really completely turning over the way we think about freedom and responsibility. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Well, no, I think that's a very good point. If something's conscious, though, then when they're doing, that was the point of these electric shocks. If you give someone an electric shock, you know pretty well when they're going to have consciousness of the stimulus. Yeah? So the delay between the shock and the report is not going to be anything like 10 seconds. Oh, conscious of it before they reported it. Well, before actually saying, I'm going to do it, that might take time. Yeah? But remember, that's not what they're doing. They're just looking at this clock. Where's it gone? They're just looking at this clock, and when they become aware of the intention, noting where the point was, where the dot was, so they don't have to say. I agree that saying might add in some lag, but they don't have to say till afterwards. All they have to do is remember where the dot was when they first became aware of the intention. Yeah. Yeah. I agree, and I think that's extremely important. I once talked to someone who was one of the reviewers for Levette's initial article, and he said that was the big problem with it, the initial article, that so much is going on at once that you're doing this visual task of spotting where the dot is at the same time as you're pressing the button, and you're trying to introspect your conscious decision. There's all kinds of possibility for errors there, but the thing is that as these things have gotten deepened, these 10-second results take my breath away, really. It's very hard to explain that. Levette's 400 millisecond thing looks, well, maybe you can explain that away in some technical way. These huge delays are much harder to explain away like that, it seems to me. Yep. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. At a general level, I completely agree. It really forces you to think very hard about what I mean by conscious intention, and we'll come on to that on Friday. But remember that, I mean, the original experimental design is just brilliant, I think. And they're just asking you to say, your task is just, sometime in the next couple of minutes, sometime in the next 10 minutes, pick this up. And when you think to yourself, and keep your eye on the spot, and when you think to yourself, I'll do it now, remember what the thing is, do it now, okay? What would be hard about that? I mean, it seems to be set up in such a way that it's very easy. I mean, as I think to myself, all right, let's do it, I spot where the thing is. Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. Okay, basically I agree, yeah. But I think what Levette would have said was, okay, but this is a very subtle distinction. I say I'm going to do it now, but that's not the intention. Okay? What was the intention? Yeah. That's the thing that's hard to fix. Yeah. Okay. So it's perfectly clear why this is so important. Yeah. Let me just tell you a brief anecdote. I was once giving a talk to Oxford Psychology Department, which is a very big, distinguished psychology department. And at one point in the discussion, my talk had been about something completely different. And at one point in the discussion, I said, but if that was true, then some kind of general epiphenomenalism would be true. Looking around, we expect everyone to be thinking, well, of course, that can't be right. And I suddenly realized from the frozen expressions on everyone's faces that they didn't. It wasn't just that they thought epiphenomenalism might well be true. They take it that it's not just true, but has been demonstrated to be true by these kinds of experiments. Yeah. I mean, among people who know a lot of neuroscience, this is a very popular view. Yeah, this is a very serious view. Levette himself had a way of softening the impact here. He says, okay, so we've got this problem. The initiation of the freely voluntary act begins unconsciously, well before the person consciously knows he wants to act. So is there any role at all for conscious will in the performance of the act? And he says, well, conscious will could have a veto. Like it happens to me quite a bit, where I start to swear, and then I bite it back, and I say, no, don't do that. People are also shocked. You see what I mean? You can do that. You start to say, or you start to tell a story about Sally, and you realize that Sally's good friend is right there in front of you, and you think, oh, I better not do that. Maybe that's such a good idea. Right? So you can start something, and then veto it. And Levette says, potentially available to the conscious function is the possibility of stopping or vetoing the final progress of the volitional process. So you find that you're starting, your brain starts up, push it to the left. You become consciously aware of the intention, push it to the left. But at that point, you have a veto. And you can say, no, I'm not going to push it to the left. I changed my mind. So conscious will could affect the outcome of the volitional process, even though the volitional process was initiated by unconscious cerebral processes. And Levette says, I propose that the conscious veto may not require or be the direct result of preceding unconscious processes. So the conscious intention comes about as a result of all these unconscious brain processes. But the veto, when you say, I'm not going to do it, that's not the result of unconscious brain processes. The conscious veto is a proper control function. It really is in charge. It makes its decisions without being led to them by unconscious brain processes. So the conscious veto as a control function is different from simply becoming aware of the wish to act. So the role of conscious free will is then not to initiate the voluntary act. You're just swamped by these initiations of voluntary acts, but your conscious life is just vetoing what has the ability to damp down what your brain is initiating. So you could view the unconscious initiatives for voluntary action as bubbling up in the brain, and the conscious will then selects which of these initiatives to go forward to an action, or which ones to veto and abort, with no act appearing. So in that picture, the monkey on top of the tiger does have something to do, right? But basically, it's a kind of it's trying to stop the tiger going here or there. That's it. But the monkey never gets to initiate a course of action. The tiger does all the initiation. Sometimes the monkey rolls with the flow. Sometimes the monkey says, don't do that. But the monkey never initiates anything.